The list of tasks on the screen looked like a mountain, a huge, impossible mountain. Leo sat at his desk, and his computer screen stared back at him. At the top of the list was one item, highlighted in red. He had highlighted it himself yesterday, thinking it would motivate him. It did not. The item was, reply to Mr. Henderson's email. It seemed so simple, just a few sentences, but this was not a simple email. Mr. Henderson was an important client, and he was not happy. The project was late, and he wanted answers. Every time Leo thought about writing that email, his stomach felt strange. It was a heavy feeling, like he had swallowed a small stone. So he didn't write it. Instead, he decided he needed coffee. The perfect cup of coffee. He walked to the office kitchen, taking his time. He chose a mug, rinsed it carefully, and selected a coffee pod. The machine made a loud whirring noise as it prepared the drink. The smell of coffee filled the small kitchen. It was a good smell. A comforting smell. He took his coffee back to his desk and sat down. The red highlighted task was still there, waiting. He took a sip of coffee. Okay, he thought. First, I will check the news. It is important to know what is happening in the world. He opened a news website and started reading. He read about politics. He read about sports. He read an interesting article about a chef who only cooks with insects. An hour passed. The coffee was gone. The stomach stone feeling was bigger. He had done nothing. And the email was still waiting. The day continued like this. A small, easy task. Then, a distraction. More coffee. A chat with a colleague about a television show. At 5 o'clock, Leo's computer reminded him the day was ending. He had answered a few easy emails. He had made a few phone calls. But he did not reply to Mr. Henderson. The most important task of the day was still sitting there. He closed his laptop with a sigh. I'll do it tomorrow, he promised himself. But he knew this was a lie he told himself every day. Walking home, he felt tired and stressed. He felt like he was failing. He had a long to-do list, but he was getting nothing important done. He was busy all day, but not productive. The feeling was heavy on his shoulders. The next day, he met his friend Clara for lunch. Clara worked in a different department. She was always calm and organized. Her desk was always clean. Leo's desk looked like a storm had passed through it. He told her about his problem. I don't know what's wrong with me, Clara, he said, pushing his food around his plate. I know what I need to do. I have a list. But I just can't start the hard things. I do all the small, easy stuff first. By the end of the day, I'm too tired for the big tasks. Clara listened patiently. She took a sip of her water and then smiled. It sounds like you have a frog problem, she said. Leo looked confused. A frog problem? I don't have any frogs. I have a client problem, a project problem, a time problem, but no frogs. Clara laughed. No, it's an expression. It comes from a famous idea. Imagine that your biggest, most difficult, and most important task of the day is a big, ugly frog. A frog, Leo repeated. That's a strange image. Exactly, Clara said. And the rule is, you have to eat that frog first thing in the morning, before you do anything else. No coffee, no news, no easy emails. You sit down and you eat the frog. Leo made a face. Eat a frog? That sounds disgusting. That's the point, Clara said, leaning forward. If you do the absolute worst thing first, the rest of the day feels wonderful in comparison. After you've eaten a frog, answering a simple email is a piece of cake. Do you understand? The task you are avoiding the most, that is your frog. Leo thought about the email from Mr. Henderson. It was definitely a big, ugly frog. So I just do it. First thing. First thing, Clara confirmed. Don't think about it. Don't look at other tasks. Just eat the frog. Once it's done, you'll feel a great sense of relief and accomplishment. And that energy will carry you through the rest of the day. Leo was skeptical. It sounded too simple, but he was also desperate. He was tired of feeling stressed and unproductive. Eat the frog, he said slowly. My hardest task first. I guess I can try it. Good, Clara smiled. Let me know how it tastes. The next morning, Leo's alarm went off earlier than usual. He got to the office before most of his colleagues. It was quiet. He walked to his desk, put his bag down, and did not go to the kitchen. He did not turn on the news. He opened his laptop and the to-do list appeared. At the top was the frog. Reply to Mr. Henderson's email. His heart started beating faster. He wanted to get coffee. He wanted to check anything else. The old habits were strong. Then he heard Clara's voice in his head. Just eat the frog. He took a deep breath. Okay, he whispered to himself. Time for breakfast. He opened the email from Mr. Henderson. He read it again. He felt the familiar stone in his stomach. But this time, he didn't run away. He opened a new email. He wrote the subject line, Update on Project X. He started writing. He apologized for the delay. He clearly explained the situation. He provided a new, realistic timeline. He described the steps they were taking to finish the project. It was hard. He rewrote sentences many times. But he kept going. After 30 minutes it was done. He read it one last time. It was a good email. It was honest and professional. He hesitated for a second, his finger over the send button. Then he clicked it. It was gone. He leaned back in his chair and let out a long breath he didn't realize he was holding. The stone in his stomach was gone. In its place was a feeling of lightness, a feeling of relief. He looked at the clock. It was only 9 in the morning. And his biggest, hardest task was already finished. He finally went to get his coffee, and it tasted better than ever. The rest of the day felt easy. The other tasks on his list seemed small and simple. He finished a report. He organized his files. He helped a colleague. When he left work at 5 o'clock, he wasn't feeling stressed. He felt proud. He sent a text to Clara. I ate the frog. It was not delicious. But I feel great, she replied with a smiling emoji. The next morning, Leo felt a little bit of confidence. Okay, what is the frog for today? He thought. His eyes found it on his list. Start presentation for Friday's meeting. It was a big task. He needed to create at least 20 slides. He usually waited until the last minute for these things. The feeling of resistance returned. It was a big frog. Maybe he could just check his emails first. They were small and quick. He picked up his phone to text Clara. Today's frog is bigger than yesterday's frog. I'm not sure I can eat it all. Her reply came back a minute later. You don't have to eat it all in one bite. Just take the first bite. Open the presentation software. Choose a template. Write the title on the first slide. Just start. Just start. It was good advice. He put his phone down. He opened the presentation software. He chose a simple, clean template. He created the first slide and typed the title, Quarterly Project Review. Then he wrote his name. He had taken the first bite. He looked at his notes and created a second slide, Agenda. He listed the topics he would discuss. Then he made a third slide, and a fourth. An hour later, he had created 10 slides. It was a fantastic start. He had a clear plan. The rest of the presentation seemed much easier now. He had eaten half the frog, and it wasn't so bad. During his lunch break, he finished the other 10 slides. By 2 in the afternoon, his presentation for Friday was finished. He felt incredible. 2 days in a row, he had defeated his biggest task before it could ruin his day. The next day, the frog was different. It wasn't a writing task. It was a phone call he had been avoiding for a week. He needed to call a supplier and tell them they had sent the wrong materials. He hated conversations like this. He was worried the person on the phone would be angry. He wrote down some notes, planning what he would say. He took a deep breath, and he dialed the number. "Hello," he said. "My name is Leo. I'm calling about order number 472. The conversation was difficult, just as he expected. But he stayed calm. He explained the problem clearly. The supplier was not happy at first, but they understood. They promised to send the correct materials immediately. When he hung up the phone, Leo was smiling. Another frog. Eaten. By the end of the week, something had changed in Leo. He walked into the office not with fear, but with a strange kind of excitement. It was like a game. Every morning he would look at his list and ask himself, "Okay, what's on the menu today? Which frog am I eating?" He found his Project Titan proposal. This was the one. The monster frog. The task he had been avoiding for a month. It was a huge, important project that could define his year. His first instinct was to panic. This frog was too big. It wasn't a 30-minute email or a 2-hour presentation. This was days of work. He felt the old fear rising, the desire to run to the kitchen for coffee, for any distraction. But then he stopped. He thought about his week. He thought about the email to Mr. Henderson, the presentation, the difficult phone call. He had eaten a frog every single day. And every single day, he had felt better. He had felt stronger. He could do this. "Okay, frog," he said quietly to his computer screen. "It's time for breakfast." He didn't try to do the whole project. He just took the first bite. He broke the huge project into smaller tasks. The first task was research competitors. He spent 2 hours just on that. Then he took a short break. The next task was create project outline. He did that, 1 bite at a time. The work was hard, but it was not impossible. By the end of the day, he had a complete outline, and all of his research was done. He had made more progress on Project Titan in 1 day than he had in the entire past month. He left the office that evening feeling not just relieved but powerful. The following week, he ate a piece of the Project Titan frog every morning. And on Thursday, it was done. The proposal was complete. He read the final document, proud of the work he had done. He attached it to an email and sent it to his boss. An hour later, his boss came to his desk. "Leo, this is excellent work. Really excellent. One of the best proposals I've seen." The praise felt good. But the best feeling was the quiet calm inside him. The stress was gone. The feeling of failure was gone. After work, he met Clara for coffee to celebrate. "I did it," he told her. "I ate the monster frog." Clara smiled warmly. "I knew you could. See? You're a professional frog eater now." Leo laughed. "I guess I am. And you know what? Frogs don't taste so bad after you've eaten them." He had learned the secret. The day ahead always looks brighter when you have breakfast first.